Hey, you.
Yeah.
Are you hiring right now? Are you hiring right now?
Yeah, that's free.
Yeah, you're hired.
Yay! I'm hired.
Yeah. I'm your boss.
They went to my other wrist.
Oh yeah, either one, yeah. Hey, Grip Monkey.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a few more.
Yeah, and then if you want to,
Where's my boss?
The metaverse.
these are some events. The red carpet leads you to these free events. Just click on the little
Let me take some popcorn.
teardrop at the bottom left.
Bro, the frig.
Look at the Google Maps locator symbol. Under your
Okay.
big
Maybe
screen.
pass me a
Click on that to make it blue.
Okay.
And then you get to scroll down. You get to see all these different worlds.
Hey.
And then you're going to get to a
Hey,
section that
boss.
says can't miss events.
Boss, can I just grab a thing of popcorn and then ask if they want some?
Yeah, and then you can see
Yes.
upcoming events.
I'll be right back. I'm about to go to an NBA game.
And then to get rid, hey, come over here, Griff.
And you're now the new boss.
And then to get rid of the menu, just press down with your left thumb on the flat button. There's a flat button. under
Would
your
you
left
like
thumb.
some popcorn, ma'am?
No, thank you. Under your left thumb.
Would you like some popcorn, sir?
Yep.
No,
Feel
thank you.
under your left thumb.
Appreciate
There's
it.
a flat button.
Yeah, I see a shield, a microphone, a weird.
Okay, then click on the three lines because you're looking at your wrist menu. Just aim and click on the three lines.
Okay, now I see my menu.
Okay, and to get rid of it, click on the three white lines on your wrist menu.
Got it.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So just,
go
I'm going to
explore
be here for another 15 minutes. I work here. So if you have any questions, hey, John, just definitely ask me. And there's going to be another
Yeah.
community guide.
Only when you get close to him, too.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Hi, Jaja.
Now, Griff Monkey, did you have a
I don't want
question?
to work as a popcorn.
Open portals? Let me show you a portal. I'm gonna just grab a portal.
Did you have a question?
How you open it is
Come over here, Griff Monkey.
you'll
Over
see
here.
on the world tab, you'll see a thumbs up banner.
So I cannot hear
I,
you.
and then you'll see think
Are you in a
backwards
party?
E with three lines, and it opens it this like that.
I'm gonna join. I'm gonna join.
And then you go to visit, and mine says
boy.
Can you
close,
do this?
but yours will say hide. So you, if you don't want that to see it, you hit hide.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I
you
suppose
got
I
it.
didn't visit world. Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank
Mine
you.
will say close and visit.
still feel the presence of the Lord. I still feel one of the songs that my daughter was listening to, it was to asking questions about God. It was like, God, why this, why that? And I was telling her, you're not supposed to question the Lord. You know, he's a vengeful Lord. You don't ask him no questions. You just tell him on his time. You just thank him for your presence and ask him, you know, you will receive. Knock on the door will be open. But you
Right.
know, at the same time, one of the gospel songs that she was listening to was questioning God. So I told her, that's a nice song, but that's not how I go, honey. You don't
Yeah.
question the
Yeah.
Lord. You know, you just ask him for what you want
What's
and
up,
you just
Kyrie?
put it in his hands. So we listened to a couple of more songs and that was it. She went off to do her thing because I got young adults in the house. But that's
Yeah.
one thing I can say that
And yeah.
being
And
that our pastor
yeah.
died, yeah, our pastor died a couple of years ago. We haven't been to church, but my kids do. They find friends. They have friends that go to church and they go with them. So
Okay.
we haven't found a home group, but that's it, guys. I just wanted
Okay.
to,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, okay. That what's up though. What y'all feel about these pastors getting exposed on the internet though, man? What's up
yeah,
with this crazy stuff,
exposed,
man?
yeah.
Like for real, I mean, like that. Now that's the crazy thing because you're looking at it like these pastors doing this. Is it part of the act that they doing, or is they really doing getting exposed? I mean, like I don't understand because it's getting exposed to the internet. What a Willie?
But that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing I was touching on earlier.
Mm,
Uh-huh.
They go for 15, 20, 30, 40 years, then they get exposed.
yeah.
How long
Yeah.
I'm supposed to listen to this guy lead me down the wrong path before he get exposed?
Right.
Will he get exposed? Is he on the right path or is he not?
Well, we
Uh-huh.
ain't
I
talking
don't
about the
know.
world exposed. Let me just
But
mention this, and then you guys, this is a good topic. Hold on. Now, I told you that my pastor died a few years ago. It's not a couple, it's a few, right before the pandemic. This is what happened. The year before, the first lady kept complaining about how the church was taking her husband, how she didn't get enough time to spend with her husband. He was adamant about growing his flock. It was only like 12 of us. He was adamant about growing his flock. The whole December, the whole January, she kept coming in, being rude to us and everything. By February, he was gone. The Lord. I felt like the Lord took his servant because if his family was complaining about him being with us all the time, I don't know how y'all feel about that. Not that so for 2 months the first lady was complaining about her husband always at the church doing all this stuff for the church, and then he passes away from a
I
heart
mean,
attack
but what was he
at
Some
doing though?
54
Because
demons.
years.
Some demons
50.
sound like.
What do you
right.
mean?
So
I'm sorry. Go
what
ahead.
was he doing in the time of investing all his time into the church that was taking him away? What was he
Okay,
doing?
so that's when they started doing a lot of trying to raise money, asking us for extra stuff besides our tithes. So things started getting complicated. And
Uh-huh.
then like not for nothing, it was a black church, but it was a white man, the treasurer and the secretary. So he started getting involved, and then it seemed like within a couple of months, our pastor died. So he was doing very well. I was there for 4 years, and then after a couple of months, you saw the church started changing. Like the elders was leaving and everything. This is the truth. My church is Second Chance Church in Antelope Valley, California. And it's gone now. It's no more Second Chance Church. He was trying to raise his sons to be a pastor. Is gone. Not the first
I'm
lady
going
didn't
to hell. I'm
finish it
sorry,
or
guys.
whatever. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what y'all think about that. Like, how do y'all feel about that situation? You think God took him for a reason, or it was just his time?
Oh,
This is
most
a church
definitely it was
family. He's
just his
been preaching.
time.
Oh,
Most
okay.
definitely it was just his time, you know what I'm saying? But evil is what evil does. Everything comes to the light, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's how I feel.
He might not was able to get caught up on his and God just had to stop it one way or another. But I don't feel
Yeah.
like death was the ultimate. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
Because God can easily take that energy that he gave you to project on other people away, and people can just look at you as a whatever. You see what I'm saying? So I don't
okay.
think the ultimate was death. You know what I'm saying? I think it was just
Okay.
his time on that tape. That's how
Okay.
I feel. You know,
wait,
that's
wait, wait. One question, man. Who is the number one
Mm,
best example of a pastor? Jesus Christ.
yes.
You ever been to church and they got the little fundraisers where you buy the little cookies or whatever they doing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fundraiser to make funds to support the church. Jesus wasn't for that. You know, when he said give Caesar what is Caesar's and God what is God, he meant give Caesar his damn money and give God your soul.
Mm.
He didn't mean give him some money and then you got to give the church some money, because he wasn't on that when he went to church. When he went to the synagogue, they were selling stuff. He got mad.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get mad because that. He got mad because they were gambling in the house of the Lord.
Yes.
They was gambling and selling for profit. It was all for profit. That's how he saw it. It was all
But
for
that has
profit.
nothing to do with tithe and offering. God said, give your tithe and offering.
I thought it was
the
just
money,
once.
the reason why nobody
money?
wants to do it no more is because tithe and offering then got misconstrued for gifts. No, it's to support the church.
Mm-hmm.
The church is still a building. At the end of the day, it's still a physical building with physical bills, lights, gas, water. All that stuff costs. Like my parents are pastors. Like I said, every Sunday morning they serve breakfast at their church. Every Friday they serve dinner after Bible study. That stuff costs. And I will let you know, my parents do not. And when I tell you, my grandpa still works. He's 70 years old. My grandmother still goes to work. She's 69 years old. So they're an example of people who do the right thing with their tithe and offering, which is what they're supposed to do for it.
Okay.
We know God not actually getting the money, but the money is going to support the church, the place where we all come to worship. That is not cheap.
Yeah,
I gotta
but
watch this show called The Chosen. It's on the Life of Jesus. It's an app that's free to watch. You can donate to like continue the work of what they're doing, but it's a Christian thing. It's based on the life of Jesus and like the disciples. It's called The Chosen,
right?
And it is real. It has little fillers, but it ain't nothing that changes what's in the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus never asked for people to help with monetary donations or anything like that. He never asked for none of that. He didn't need it. When he sent his disciples out the first time to go out to different places and spread the word, it was, well, don't we need money? You don't need none of that. You just go.
Yeah.
That's because they were spreading the word out in public. They wasn't in a building. And you're also talking about a time when women weren't even allowed in the church.
But God will provide. Why do I need from my flock anything when God will make sure that it's going to be okay so long as I'm on the right path doing the right thing? That's what Jesus said.
That's true.
So what you're saying is the church will be okay.
It's going to be all right.
But you just also said that Jesus told the people to give Caesar their money. The church is owned by Caesar. Okay? The people own that land that building is on. Property taxes. The government owns that land. You have to pay your taxes. That's Caesar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we just supposed to let it be because, I mean, God will provide. God does provide in the form of tithe and offering.
Religions institutions don't pay taxes, right?
They still have to pay a mortgage. They still have light bills. They still have gas bills. That stuff is not free.
Y'all can come to my house. I got a job. I pay
where
for my
you
stuff.
have to pay a light bill and a gas bill and a water bill.
What I'm saying is, if I was to be a pastor, that's the route I'm going. Y'all can just come to my house.
Yeah.
And then we can run up your bills over there.
It is what it is.
Because I'm going to tell you, in the church, the lights stay on for hours. In every room, the bathroom, nobody may go in the bathroom for hours, but I bet you the lights are on.
I feel like,
we'll be in the backyard with a tent.
But I feel like every church should come with an apartment complex. Because, man, it's so many people that begin to get ready to get evicted and all this stuff. And then don't nobody got nowhere to go. But you want us to come here every Sunday. You give who you wants to help out. And then everybody else just,
ass out.
Yeah, just
For lack
ask
of
out.
better
I mean,
words.
because
those
you do
particular-
have pastors that help who they want to
Y'all
help. You know what I'm
can't
saying?
judge all places on a few people who don't do the right thing.
Right.
You
So you
can't.
saying
My church are getting ready to take a group full of other people kids to freaking Disneyland on the church's dime. You know how much a trip to Disneyland costs for one person, yet alone 13 little kids? It's not cheap, but they're doing that because they were
It's
able
not
to
cheap,
with the
but guess
tithe
what?
and the offering.
how many of them children parents is behind on bills or ain't got that much food in their refrigerator, or you doing this for the kid, but look at the parents. How
Or
it's helping the parents.
or an
How,
even better
for
question.
one, a
giving
lot
the
of
parents
people
a
don't
break. That's all
expose
it's
their
doing.
home
How godly is
situations.
Disney? Magic.
It's not
and
about that. It's about
sorcery
the outreach. It's about the children.
Well, right, it's about the children, but
I'ma-
once they
I'ma
leave
take
the
y'all
church
camping.
and they go back to their home, you feel me? That's the pastor. The pastor supposed to get to know his people, understand his people, get
I'ma take
in
you
tune
That's
with his
true.
people.
Get
So
closer to nature, closer to God.
right, and you know, and if he doing something for the kids, okay, that's cool, but the impact that they still gonna have after the moments or hours or seconds that they spend with that person, they had to go back to reality. Then how they gonna look at it like that? You know what I'm saying? See, that's the thing.
They're
See,
gonna look at it like me. I grew up
that's the-
okay, and I did
that's
all
the-
that stuff growing up.
right.
I
and
went
that's
on
the
plenty
different
of
part,
trips
though.
with my church, and they did plenty of stuff. They focused mainly on the youth outreach, because we
Right.
grew up to be the adults that was gonna be running stuff, just like
Right.
now. They're focusing on youth outreach because those children will grow up to be leaders in their own rightful ways.
True story. True story. You right.
Now,
You right.
if there has been people who've come and said, Pastor, I'm behind on my bills, and their bills get paid, they get helped.
Okay.
Because
okay.
like you said, God will provide. He will help. But people have to talk, for one. You have to get that communication through. Most people not willing to come to church and air out their whole business. Oh, I'm finna get evicted. Very rarely does somebody say, I need help. Because pride.
I mean, but why? Why? If that's the church of the home, that's home. That's God foundation. Why should you feel the need that you cannot express what you're
It's
going
not
through?
that they feel the need. People, if
It's
everybody
no
was
such
okay
thing as
doing
business
everything, there would
when
be
you
there
come
would
into
be
a
no
holy place.
pride. There
Huh?
would be no pride. You can't stop people from being prideful. It's not
Yes, you
about
can.
what type
But
of place it is and how
that's
they
one of the
feel.
things. That's one of the deadly sins, man, that the Bible advises against is pride.
Yeah, facts. And so look, if I invite
then-
you to my house, right? If I invite you to my house and I say, hey, you free to whatever. If you need anything, just ask. You see what I'm saying? Get what they gonna do. Oh man, he just told me I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Just asking for whatever. His
Not me.
pride is let down. His pride let down. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because
That's
I
not
made him
true.
felt welcome.
That's not
I made
true,
him-
Rello,
oh
because
my
I've been to
God.
plenty of places like that, and I don't say nothing. I don't care if they did offer. I won't say nothing because I'm one of the
Because-
people I'd rather be without than to ask.
That's
Because
what
I
you
have
was
pride.
instilled. That's who they instilled that in you. You see what I'm saying?
Who is the they? Nobody instilled that
Your
in me. My
parents.
family tell me, no, they didn't. My parents tell me all the time, if I need something, just ask.
Them your parents.
That's just
I said a
my
friend.
view.
I said
I don't ask my parents for nothing, is what I'm saying. You said they instilled that in me. No, they didn't. They instilled that it's okay to not be
So-
okay.
So
It's
how did you just
if
get
you
like
need
that
something,
then?
you just ask. You said what?
How did you get that way then? Because you
I
didn't
don't know.
have that
It's
knowledge
just,
as a
it's
baby.
just something that happened. Of
You
course
didn't have
not.
that knowledge as a baby, so somebody had to put that in you for you to feel like that.
Nobody
right?
put that in me. When I
But you
got
got some
older,
women out
I
here that's an
prided
open book.
myself. No, when I got older, I prided myself because I watched my parents struggle. I prided myself
Right.
on
So it's instilled in you.
making a way for myself.
Uh-huh.
So I said I wouldn't ask nobody for help because I'm going to always try to make a way for me and mine. I'm not going to ask nobody.
Right.
But my parents
still
always
some
have told me, if you need me, if you need something, ask.
them your parents.
And there have been a few times where I have asked. And they know they're gonna give it to me because they know if Rabbit is asking for it, she really, 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 really needs it. Because we already know she ain't gonna ask. But it's not you keep saying they're my parents. I'm like that with everybody. I'm not gonna ask anybody for nothing.
Yeah.
If I can't get it for myself, it means I don't need it right now. Point blank, period.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with, oh, well, they don't feel like they can ask this. They don't feel like they safe or nothing like that. It's just that's how people are, and you can't change people's ways.
Yeah, you can't change that way, but still, if you come into a place of the Lord, you see what I'm saying? It's different. It's different from coming to another human being. You come into a place of the Lord. You come into
Hi,
a
Rosie. What's up, baby?
you're not asking a person. You're asking God.
right. And if God can,
Now, my other thing about not asking for money and God will provide boils down to another big thing that religion and the book says and God asks of you is to have faith.
mm-hmm.
So once I say I can't have faith that it's going to be provided because this and this needs to be taken care of, so I need to ask these people. You saying you ain't got faith that God is going to take care of you and this thing that needs to be taken care of, so you got to go to a man. You see what I'm saying? I got to go to you
Right.
and say, hey, you need to donate to me so that I can take care of this place that you guys come to because I don't have faith that God's going to provide like he said he would.
Party up.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hey, you gotta understand. It's just like goddamn having your own barbershop, like fam. What's
And
up,
you
like,
also
what's
have to
going on?
remember, most
He ain't
churches
asking them for no
only
donation.
it's only a few churches that be like, can I get 30 people to give me $20? No, most churches who are doing the right thing says they're asking for those who can. They usually say, I'm going to ask for those who can to prepare to give tithes and offering. They don't force nobody to do nothing.
Right.
If
but
you
what
can't
happens
do
is,
it, you just can't.
But what happens is that collection plate gets passed and everybody putting money in it and looking. And then it comes to you and you ain't really got it, but you're going to give it because people looking and you got to maintain an image,
Baby,
which falls back to
plenty
pride.
of times. Like I said, my parents is pastors. There's been plenty of times I done sat still in my seat because I just didn't have it to give.
Well, you did.
But at the end of the
if
day,
you had
I
$1,
also
you supposed to
feel
give
like
50 cents, right?
right, and I have. There's been times I've given change, but I also feel like at the same time, I be eating seafood boils. Me and my kids go to eat seafood boils every week. That's $200-$300. So it shouldn't be that hard to give $20 to God. Point blank. Period.
Right.
And when
So
I say
you
to
should
God,
feel like
I mean
it shouldn't be that
to
hard
the
for the
church
pastor
to help them pay those bills.
Right. So it shouldn't be so hard for the pastor to help you pay your bill, right?
I don't need help paying my bills though.
But shouldn't you be
why?
able?
Where he say God will provide?
He will provide. Guess what? So that means he gave you faith. So you saying if God tended to another blessing right now, and your blessing like 2 days away, and he just ain't on time, but he presents a person that knows that got it, that can help you. So he sent you a person for a blessing instead of him blessing. So what you got to say on that? So you say you still want effort, even though God put in this figure, this person that's your blessing, instead of God having to just say, okay, randomly it's just, money just come out of the middle of nowhere. He put a human being that's supposed to represent him.
Well, that happens every birthday when your grandma slides you some money in a birthday card. I mean,
because I get it. Because what happens is this: you don't ask, you don't talk about it with that person that God sent to you, but you don't know God sent it, but he's there. Right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Later, stuff goes wrong. You doing your little prayer. Oh God, why? You know, because that happens.
Right.
You gonna ask,
Yeah.
hey man, where was you? I needed you.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jesus did it.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
And he was beyond what we are. So we gonna do it too. And what he gonna say is, you ain't see that man the other day that I sent you? Why you ain't talk to him?
Exactly.
I sent him your way.
Mm-hmm. Sent your way. All you had to do is just open your mouth. But guess what? What's up, Chain Man? Hold on. Matter of fact, Chain Man, hold on 1 second. Let me get you up here. Oh, we're about to
be over there.
Okay.
Oh, snap.
Oh, Chain Man. You on mute, Chain Man. What you had to say?
What you say now?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
All right.
You sound really low.
You low? Oh, you got to drop off the edge over there, Chain Man, and come back up so you can catch that global. Yeah. Okay. I just come on back up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Perfect.
God is purposeful, and if it can be in many ways, like he said, talk to the man that I brought to see you, or a lot of people read like stories in the Bible and think that you're going to encounter a burning bush. The message is going to be that deliberate. God, it's different because then they didn't have the Holy Ghost. They didn't have a comforter. Even when he left us with a way. We have salvation, we have plans, and you guys are speaking about tithes. It's many places where God says intentionally, I don't need your money. However, your money is a measure because you're so caught up in your money is a measurement of your love to me. Pay your pay your tithes as a tribute to me. A lot of people say that we don't need to pay tithes, we don't need to go to a church to have God. And you may not need the building because he says anytime two or more gather in my name, I'll be amongst you. However, that when you come to his house, there's a different level of understanding that can be received by the man that he chose as his tool to address you. So I think it can be different, very different from paying tithes and not paying tithes. You can see a direct reflection in your life. All you got to do is have the faith of a mustard seed. I don't know if y'all ever seen one, but it ain't that big. That much faith.
Yeah.
He ain't asking a lot.
Right. But still, so do you feel like me not wanting to ask anybody for something, was that instilled in me, or was that something that I just choose not to do? That's coming off rabbit. I'm coming off rabbit with this one.
I think it's a very fine line in between, being independent and not asking for help and being foolish. Like if you fell in the pool and you can't swim and you said I'm gonna figure this out, that's foolish. But if you need some money and I'm the only person you're reaching out to and you ain't spreading it out trying to figure it out, that might be something you can figure out on your own. But again, it goes back like we were saying about God, lean not on your own understanding.
Can a person acknowledgement lessen your pride?
I think so.
So?
Yeah.
Think the same thing? Y'all think the same thing? I mean, I feel like that's why I was explaining to Ray. I feel like if I say, hey, you're welcome to whatever, you know what I'm saying, you anything, ask me, that will lessen your pride a little bit, and you'll be like, okay, cool.
It'll make you feel more comfortable, but that don't necessarily mean you're going to accept the offer. I might feel more comfortable, like, okay, you're a cool person, it's cool here. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to just walk in your refrigerator and take out some food and start eating.
True.
Just because you said
but
it's
that,
okay to do it, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to act on it. God said we got free will. We don't always do everything that we want to do, though, because it may not feel right within us, even though we got free will to do so.
so that come back to when I said, is that instilled in you, or is it just something that you picked up along the line?
If you asking everybody, I think that's something instilled in you. I mean, I don't know how
thank
y'all
you.
grew up, but I grew up. My grandmother, right before we get ready to walk in somebody's house, she used to say, "Now don't go in here and act like you ain't got no goddamn sense." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly. It's instilled in you.
so when I go somewhere, I still have that in me. I hear that voice. Let's just keep a
Yeah.
level of understanding. We don't need to go in here and ask for everything. Going to somebody cookout hungry already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get you something to eat before you
Yeah.
go over there. Don't go over here looking like you ain't never ate. I think it's instilled in you, but it may be different for everyone else.
Well, yeah, like you said, to each his own, though.
And
'cause it
that's what
could
I
be
was telling
different.
you.
could be
It was
different.
that's not instilled in me. That's just something
Okay.
that as an adult I have grown into. I pride myself on my own accomplishments and helping myself.
Okay.
I was married. You do remember that, right? You remember that? I was married
Yeah. Uh-huh.
to the man that
I
I
remember.
dated when I was 13 years old. We have 2 children together for a long time. And also, I have lupus and bad rheumatoid arthritis. And a few years after that, I was diagnosed with liver cancer. I became very dependent on him. So now that we are divorced, and I wouldn't call myself a single mother because he is very much involved. He's still around. If I need help, he will come help me. Not forget the kids. If I need help with something, he's gonna come help me because I'm the mother of his children, and I have an autoimmune disease.
Right.
So some days I just can't. But I pride myself now. With that being said, I myself am very, very adamant on helping myself because I feel like if you don't help yourself, you can't really ask for help. You can you heard it. You can lead the water to the horse, but you can't make them drink. So
Yeah,
1,000 people can bring that horse to the water, but that horse may not necessarily drink the water. Before I try to get somebody to help me get to the water, I want to try to walk there myself first.
Okay.
That's why I said I will not ask for anything unless it's absolutely necessary.
And that's cool because let's say you ask me for help moving and I get there and you ain't doing a goddamn thing. Guess what?
You leaving. You mean to tell me you got all these boxes right here? You ain't started putting nothing, ain't nothing pre-taped, ain't nothing pre-bubble wrapped.
I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
that situation.
And that's what I was talking about with you.
That's
what I'm saying. He just said the perfect thing right there, Rello. You was talking about the church helping people, not helping people that's behind on their bills. A lot of the times, what have you done? You think that because you got a church house, we just gonna give you this $3,000 so you can get you a new house, but you just sat around doing nothing. You ain't applied for no help. You ain't looked for no jobs. You just think that because you got a church and people give good tithe and offering that we just supposed. And I don't know about nobody else's church. My church ain't that big.
Yeah.
Most of the members in my church are related. It's about 60 of us, and about 30 of us are family already. We already related. We already be asking for stuff outside of the church. But my parents, they gonna say and like I told you, they are willing to help, but they're also gonna say, what steps have you taken? You know what I'm saying? Have you exhausted all your resources yet? What have you done to help yourself?
Her thing comes down to pride. I think it comes down to that thing that I just said, where how I'm gonna ask somebody for help and I ain't doing nothing.
See, if you're the type of person that
Good
does
story.
that in your life, you're easily aggravated by the person who doesn't do it when they ask you for help. So,
Big
like
facts.
you said, when so instead of getting burnt like that now, I asked the question before. You say, okay, you need some help moving. When is it? Okay, I can't
Right.
help you that day. I
Right.
already got something going on.
Right.
Where are you moving to? Oh, that's far. Like, how are we gonna get there? Like, are we gonna get back?
Oh
Like, what?
yeah.
I need to know. Hey, I can't help you move. Yeah, I can help you pack up your stuff here, but I can't go to New York from Georgia to help you take your stuff and come back. That doesn't work for me in my timeline. I'm asking those questions. Who else is helping? Oh, it's just me and you. No, bro, I can't do that. You need to hire a moving company. Like, I got a couple dollars
Right.
on that, but you know what I'm saying? I have to
Right.
set my boundaries in what I'm willing to do because that's when I end up getting mad, hurt, frustrated about what your contribution is. He said you got to be carrying 2 boxes to mine. See, I know I can't control your contribution, so what I'm going to do is limit mine.
Right.
Facts.
Right. So Chain, tell me what's your take on seeing all these pastors getting exposed now? Do you think it's an act, something that pastors coming together and doing, or do you think they really getting
This
exposed
ain't
after
this
all
ain't
these
new.
years?
This ain't new. It was
It's
false
not
prophet.
new.
It's false prophets in the Bible. Beware. The Bible wouldn't speak of it if it didn't happen. Then beware of false prophets. Beware of men who say that they have these gifts. So like
Facts.
when I see preachers standing up in the pulpit getting robbed on Instagram and all that, like the Bible don't say that it'll stop a real preacher from that happening. That look. The devil does nothing to you when you ain't doing anything against him. If you ain't praising God, if you ain't stopping people from going to the devil or pushing people towards God, the devil won't do nothing to you. You're not in the way. You out of the
Right.
way. So it's no need for him to attack you. You're stagnant. You have
Right.
to be doing something towards coming closer to God for him to do something to you.
And also, Rello,
Right.
you talking about now? I heard you keep saying what are you these pastors getting exposed now?
Right.
Pete, this been happening, right? You know, the only difference is phones, cameras. Just like I keep telling people that about police brutality, they think this is really bad now. No, now we just have cameras to record it, and we all see it. So that's a big factor right there. If preachers been getting exposed since forever, like he said, this is not nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. This is nothing new, but there's more media output on the situations and the subjects. So now it seems bigger than what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. So Red, so what do you feel like the ultimate execution should be for pastors that get exposed from false prophet?
I mean, that's not up to us.
Yeah.
It's only
well,
God
I mean,
can
like,
judge.
we're not the judge of it, but still, if we had to say, what would you feel should be the execution for a pastor, false prophet?
It depends on what they false prophesying. Like somebody that's just been telling everybody they're gonna get a new car this year. You said what?
Adultery.
That's
So
not
a pastor
that's a different
cheating
thing.
on that's between him and his wife and the Lord.
Yeah.
But if it's like a pastor who been scheming from his who been you skimming money from the tithe and offering that's supposed to be going to his church and his funding his private jet, then I mean that's fried. He need to go to jail, point blank, period.
Okay.
But as far as like adultery or something like that, that's between that man, that wife, and the God that he say he serves. Point blank, period.
What you got?
This is not nothing new. And way back in the day, when in my grandparents' time of day, them pastors, they all had wives and hussies on the side. That was just a part of the pastor. They would party on Saturday and go to church on Sunday with the same people. They was all having parties and drinking and smoking and orgying and all that with the next day.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen with all that you just mentioned, right? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
This ain't me saying this. This come from the book. Okay.
Okay.
The more you sin, the further away from the grace of God you fall. When your day of judgment comes and you ain't right there with God, you already know what's gonna happen.
He gonna tell you, I don't know you.
It's already been said.
Gonna
They
laugh
said in the
dead in
book.
your face.
Go away from me. I don't know you.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't
That's-
even
that's-
necessarily
that's the
go
answer to
as
that
far to
question.
say the more you sin, because I just feel like no one sin is greater than the next. But there is a couple sins that God considers an abomination. But you could sin
Right.
one time, and you still gonna burn in hell if you don't ever repent and ask God for forgiveness.
Right.
We
That's
all
just
fall
the
short of the
simple
glory of
reality.
So
God.
if
Now you
God,
could be a
if God
liar.
is a-
You
if
could be
God
a
is forgiving
liar
God,
for 10 years straight. You just do nothing but lie every time you open your mouth. And on that 11th year, if God allows you to see it, you ask God for mercy and grace, and you repent and ask for forgiveness, you will be forgiven of those 10 years of lying. So I wouldn't necessarily say the more
so
you sin.
okay. So look, God is a forgiving God, right? He's a forgiving God. So if you make the mistake this year and 3 years later you make the same mistake, well, in reality, it's you already know what you gonna do.
I'm confused. Wait a minute. I want to go back to something
Can
you
God
just
still
said.
forgive
Who
you for the
told you
same
God was a
mistake that you
forgiving
already?
God?
So he ain't no forgiving, forsaken God.
He's a just God, which means he gonna be like, okay, but you still gotta do a little bit of suffering for what you did.
Okay. He's a
It say
just
only God can judge. Key word judge. You're still gonna get judged.
You know,
Right.
you know the
Your
Bible
punishment
says
just
that
may
to
not be as
think of
harsh.
doing something sinful, even if you don't physically do it, it's a
You're
sin,
still supposed to ask for forgiveness.
Right.
right?
So if anybody do
doesn't
okay, go
have
ahead.
something
I'm
cross
sorry.
their mind that is sinful and don't do it? We all do.
Yeah.
Some of us act upon some things, some of us don't act upon it, but we thought it, right? But
Yep.
the whole point is that there's a path to clear that. There's a
Right.
path to clear that. Did you take that path to clear that?
That's facts.
Yeah. True story,
That's
true
why
story,
a lot of people, a lot of Christians say that masturbation is a sin, right? Even though it says it nowhere in the Bible. But what they're getting misconstrued is masturbation is not a sin. A lot of people say self-pleasure is a sin. That's not a sin. It says that nowhere in the Bible. The sin is because 95% of the time, what you think about when you're masturbating, something lustful. That's where the sin comes in at.
Yeah.
So what you're thinking about is the sin. What you're doing ain't the sin, but it's what you're thinking about. And technically is also a little bit of witchcraft and manifestation in there, because you manifesting something happening that ain't really happening just to satisfy yourself. But like he said, it's the thought. So you could even think wrong, but you're still supposed to ask for that forgiveness. But like I
Right.
said, you said God is a
Okay,
forgiving
okay.
God. God is a just God.
Tapping me down here. What's going on?
Okay, he's a just guy. Okay. That do make sense. That do make sense though. You know what I'm saying? That do make sense.
What I'm saying ain't scripture, so I'm not saying it like
Not scripture.
It's
He
yeah,
said scripture. I heard that.
yeah. I'm from Georgia. Forgive my enunciation, but
Annunciation. Amen, brother.
I think that
She's so funny.
you know, I would have to say God is a forgiving God to me, because you know anybody who would give their son